Hello and welcome to Barely Contained, the podcast that showcases the best and worst, well, honestly it's mainly the worst, just the absolute worst of showbiz journalism that the UK's online practitioners can offer. I'm Matt Withers and, as ever, I'm joined by Chris Beckett.
Hello.
You may notice a bit of noise in the background this episode. We are recording this in a public house.
Lads.
Absolutely, in the fashionable London borough of Southwark. So just think of it a bit of atmosphere, or what professional broadcasters call a bed. Now, Chris, I am starting off with a story that's tickled my fancy from the Daily Mirror Online. And it's headlined in these times of woe globally, NHS crisis, etc. Bit nippy, Bex Shiner braves the winter cold for a spot of semi-naked snowman assembly in nothing but a thong.
Well, that's a winter warmer right there.
Are you au fait with Bex Shiner?
No.
Bex Shiner?
Who?
Bex Shiner?
Who?
I wasn't previously, but I get...
Oh, you mean Maitland Ward?
I get the impression that we will get to know Ms. Shiner in the context of this story. So the intro is the provocative figure, which makes it sound like a kind of Jermaine Greer, was back to her NSFW Bex Shiner best as she got festive in her backyard over the weekend.
Is that a euphemism?
Well, no, really. It's very much a single entendre story.
NSFW Bex Shiner best. She's really deserved that kind of adjectival phrase.
I go on. Someone should pull Bex Shiner aside today and alert her to the effects of hypothermia.
They won't know, Matt. They won't.
Risking limb, both of them, old mate Bex.
Hang on, both of them?
Yeah. So,
How many limbs do people have?
I was going to
More
come
than
on to
two.
A limb. I'm a traditionalist. I think an arm, a leg. And these pictures, which I do not recommend looking at in a work environment, show that she is, she's got the full set there. I think it's a reference to her mammary glands.
I see. Right. Okay.
But they're not limbs. So
no,
that's the first mistake.
They're really not.
They're really, we don't want to get involved in the absolute, medical definitions, but no. So, old mate Bex, well, that makes her sound like she works on a ship in the 1800s.
Sort of a sea captain type figure.
Yeah. Took to the slopes in her backyard. Now, these pictures show that she quite clearly, and it shows you later, she lives in Coventry, so it's not the hilliest of cities. It looks like it's probably 2 up, 2 down.
Yeah.
So,
if you put a spirit level down in her backyard, you wouldn't be thinking, wow, this is very much like the slopes of Meribel.
It's not Val d'Isere. So yeah, we've got risking limb, both of them. Old mate Bex took to the slopes in her backyard over the weekend, following Saturday's dumping of snow, keen on a spot of NSFW snowman assembly in her knickers.
Fine.
I'll go along with that. Here comes the next line. Classic Bex.
Now, the last time I heard the phrase classic Bex was probably 2006, following a free kick just outside the area.
I was thinking of the one that he put in against Greece.
Into
the World Cup.
God, he really ruled that second half.
It shall be said that we're about 4 or 5 paragraphs into this article, and I'm still none the fucking wiser who Bex Shiner is, and yet there are several allusions to the fact that we all must know.
Yeah, it's classic. It's typical her.
Obviously way too excited about the imminent... Somebody's getting excited over there. I should say it's the possibly illicit poker game that's going on in the next room. Anyway, obviously way too excited about the imminent new friend she'd soon be creating, the sometimes porn star recklessly forgot to pull on a warm overcoat, or heck, a top of any description, raising out into the chilly midnight air in nothing but a black thong.
Sometimes porn star.
Yeah, this is
the rest of the time she's just The
rest of the time, she is
basket weaving,
visiting professor at St Andrews University. Luckily, she remembered to pull on some black combat-style boots to protect her tootsies from some nasty frostbite. But what about her boobs?
They're probably still getting over the use of the word tootsies.
Next part, priorities. And then if you're reading this on mobile, as I am, you get the mirror read more suggestion. And a previous story about her was Beck Shiner gags on a cucumber during very suggestive shopping trip. And if you listen very carefully, that is Hugh Cudlip turning in his grave.
Try before you buy. I don't think that should be allowed.
Exposed to the harsh winter elements in her home in Coventry, the former Big Brother star's ample assets were on full display, beckoning the chilly mistress that is winter to do their worst.
This is brilliant. Is this we've brought in a young Dickens on work experience?
I think it might be. I think what it's more likely to be is somebody who's got a degree in English literature from Durham University is finding themselves writing about Beck Shiner for the Mirror Online, is thinking, you know what, I'm still paying for this degree, I am going to add a soupçon of gravitas to the proceedings.
That would be, classic Becks.
Classic Becks. Anyway, at least we found out who she is. So she is a former Big Brother star.
Okay.
And very much not from the series with Cameron Stottin. Remember the nice series? It might have been series 3.
I really don't know.
This was the problem. It was too nice, Chris.
Really? Yeah.
After she was done, they seemed to be holding up all right, though. It sounds like when you've just had your car done. Oh, all right, mate. They seem to be holding up all right. As the buxom brunette then decided the next logical step was to roll around in the snow wearing nothing but her black thong and a festive elf headband to add a little pizzazz to proceedings.
Tootsies, pizzazz. I'm glad someone was around to document this.
Perhaps she's auditioning to be Santa's little helper. The 30-year-old did little to make sure she was guarding against the temperatures, though, that plummeted to -7 degrees Celsius overnight. Not only was she not decked out in some gloves or mittens, she was rolling around in the snow, full palm-to-ice contact, basically asking for the flu.
Yeah.
I don't know what more to say about this news article. It wasn't long before her facial expressions alluded to the chill she was feeling.
It's not long before she looked a bit cold.
Yeah, not long before she looked freezing. As she pulled a variety of emotive looks while wearing a full face of makeup for her nighttime escapades.
Oh, emotive looks. There must be some better way of describing
Yeah.
them. Oh, expression.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Not once, however, did she think to pull up what looked to be a singlet wrapped round her hips. ... And final paragraph, Chris, here's the payoff. Here's hoping her thong was thermal.
One of the great closing lines.
It really is. I mean, it's up there as one of the greatest in English literature, and I just think that is a classic Beck Shiner story.
Yes, classic Beck.
She really is, a kind of Marlene Dietrich de nos jours.
Well, yeah, she's eclipsed Marlene for me, really. Right, Matt. Now, from making snowmen in the nude, I have got a piece from the Mail Online with instructions on a new sporting craze. Want to hear about it?
I certainly do.
How to play sexy tennis.
Ooh.
Bachelor alumni Noni Janur and Beau Sam Johnston get hot and heavy for an adults-only session in Los Angeles.
Right, I have no idea who these people are.
I was going to ask if you were familiar with Noni and Sam, as I like to call them.
I do not know who they are, but I'm sure you're going to fill me in.
Okay, right, here goes. Tennis isn't sexy, Sure, sometimes tennis players don risque outfits, and sure, some of the noises heard during intense rallies can occasionally cause dirty minds to wander.
Yeah, I remember feeling a bit like that when Sir Cliff had to sing at Wimbledon because it was raining too much.
What, he made your mind wander? Or he was just dampening down the kind of sexually charged atmosphere at SW19?
Move on.
But the game itself has always been pretty vanilla. Until Wednesday, that is, when lovers Noni Janua and Sam Johnston introduced the world to sexy, capped up, tennis. Documenting their time on the court via Instagram.
Of course, and we can drink, because I've got a lovely pint of pale ale in my hand here.
The former Bachelor series stars seem more intent on posing for raunchy snaps than playing the game itself. Their non-Wimbledon approved outfits also pushed boundaries, with Noni flashing cleavage in a pink sports bra.
Yeah, the All England Club would not have that.
She wouldn't last a minute. She wouldn't even get through qualifying with that get-up. The beauty was outdone by her model/actor Beau, though, who filmed a courtside video of himself rubbing his exposed nipple. Yet another sexy tennis rule variance.
It's rule variant?
I think the male are getting slightly carried away with themselves, trying to kind of muscle in on the rules of tennis and create their own.
I just don't understand what rule variant would involve somebody rubbing their exposed nipple.
I think it's fair to say that sexy tennis is still in its infancy as a sport, and suggesting rule variants at this stage, I'm not even sure it's been properly codified.
No, I could see it on Channel 5, presented by the late Keith Chegwin. God rest his soul, Chris.
Poor Keith. Well, having only posted just 2 short clips of their actual match, Sam's clip of Noni pulling sexy poses on the court gave a better indication of what went down. Seen posing with her sunglasses lowered and posterior thrust skyward.
Skyward? Shooting off into the air like Wile E. Coyote on a rocket.
It's beautiful, like letting off some sort of genital flare. Noni held her position for several seconds before Sam was heard saying, "Next one," brackets, next pose.
See, if he was heard saying "next one," brackets, next pose, did he say brackets? Or did he make a sound that sounded like a bracket?
I think it's
probably... by sounding like a bracket, I don't mean...
Hinge and bracket. Yes, I think it was more the author of the Mail Online being very kind to the readership and explaining that the words "next one" meant next pose, which you'd have no idea of if you hadn't looked through this story online with about 58 pictures.
Yes.
She then gleefully laughed before proceeding to bend down on all fours at the service line with her face away from camera and her bottom in the air. I can remember Roger Federer doing that in Australian Open second round match.
It didn't quite work out for him.
It didn't, no, but oh well. As she was walking away, her beau aimed a tennis ball at her backside, his prank backfiring as his girlfriend managed to catch it between her thighs. For couples who enjoy playing tennis, who are also looking for ways to spice up their love life, the session will no doubt inspire some naughty ideas.
Yeah, whack the ball at someone's arse.
Yeah, that's how I always like to begin a bit of foreplay. Get the tennis racket out and the ball, try and thrash the ball at my lover's exposed area. Purists, on the other hand, need not apply. And that's the end of that chapter.
Thank God for that. I have got a story from the Express Online. I want you to take this seriously. The headline is Eamonn Holmes reveals heartbreaking Ruth Langsford news as OBE comes with cruel twist.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is no laughing matter, because I don't really know why I brought this to what is ostensibly a semi-comedy podcast, but...
Does he have to choose between the Order of the British Empire or, I don't know, some sort of sacrifice?
It's a choice between the Order of the British Empire or a night out with Andy Gray and Richard Keys.
Well,
No, it's not. It's much more...
well, that would really have been a Sophie's choice.
God, the illicit poker game going on next door is getting quite heated up, isn't it? Anyway, no, this is serious. The intro is Eamonn Holmes made a huge confession during today's Good Morning Britain after being awarded an OBE. The 58-year-old has been recognised for his services to broadcasting. I mean, insert your own joke there.
Rightly so.
And will receive the highly prestigious Officer of the Most Excellent of the British Empire Award later this year. However, appearing on Good Morning Britain today, Eamonn revealed that his wife, Ruth Langsford, 57, may not be able to attend the ceremony.
Oh, why not?
I know, I'm a little cheerful at this point.
Okay.
When asked by host Ben Shepherd how many tickets Eamonn will receive and who will be watching in the wings...
He doesn't shy away from the tough questions, Shepherd.
Yeah,
he really is a probing interviewer.
Really does. He's straight in there. How many tickets do you get? Who'll be watching in the wings? Tell me, Senator.
I don't want to see them on fire. Go, Eamonn.
What did you know and when did you know it? The Belfast-born presenter dropped a surprising bombshell. My daughter loves the Royals, so I'd like her to be there. My son Jack wanted to be there too, he said.
Okay.
So Ruth might have to stand aside, and she would do that. If we
Soldier.
had, and it's just, I just feel humbled. If we had free tickets, that will settle it. But really, we need about 17.
Hang on, who else is getting invited?
Well, this is it, because he said his daughter loves the Royals and his son Jack wants to be there, and then there's Ruth, so that's 3.
Who else is he inviting? The 1992-93 Manchester United
I
team?
imagine he would. I imagine he went in there, he banged his hands down in front of the Queen and went, right, it's Schmeichel, Parker, Pallister, Irwin, Bruce, Sharpenins, Hughes, McClare, Keenan, Cantona, Robson, Kanchelskis and Giggs. And I have done that off the top of my head, because that is a line from Come On You Reds. By Manchester United with Status Quo.
Yeah, he didn't lose his head though.
What's more, Ruth may be left ready to... Right, so that bit of the story's done now.
The OBE
yeah,
is
that
gone.
bit's done. We're going on a couple of absolute fucking non sequiturs. So
is
that
Beck Shiner mentioned?
Beck Shiner is one of the 17. What's more, Ruth may be left raging after Eamonn threatened to show some, quote, disgraceful footage of his wife from the Christmas holidays.
Okay.
There is an exclusive video recorded by me in which she tries to murder her mother. He grinned. I mean, this is one hell of a confession. Holmes here playing out like he thinks it's some cheap joke.
Yeah, I mean, I've watched enough police procedural dramas to know that that's not a good idea.
Watch that at 10:30am on this morning. Ruth tried to murder her mother. It's shocking. It's disgraceful. Another little...
Now here's Carol Kirkwood with weather.
Well, it's almost like that, because there's another massive chicane. It follows that with the confession that he recorded his wife trying to kill his mother. So you think, this is interesting. What's the next line? Tell me more. Later in today's GMB, Honey G was caught out after not realising she was on live television in front of millions. Good Morning Britain, there's weekdays at 6am on ITV. There's so much going on there.
I mean, Honey G, maybe not this year, but next year she was, CBE. I thought she had nailed on.
Well, this story was written by The Express's Adam Miller, and I'd say this is very much Adam Miller's White Album. He just crammed so many different ideas in there with so little relevance to each other, and yet it kind of hangs together and works. Well, that's about it for the first Barely Contained of 2018. We hope that you enjoyed it and found it was very much the same of all the Barely Containeds of 2017. We'll be here for the remainder of the year, possibly, who knows. Don't forget, you can follow us on Twitter at
Barely_pod.
Thank you very much. So, thank you very much for your time today, Chris.
And thank you, Matt.
Thanks to Beck Shiner. We'll see you next time.
Classic Becks. Bye.